Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
The internet is broken. Business models and site design are entirely geared toward advertising and not the reader. On today's internet, advertisements are distracting, invasive, and overwhelming. In DEN, the primary objective is quality content. Instead of ads, you may occasionally see a boosted post where a user has risked value to increase its visibility. Just like any other post, you can upvote or downvote to help evaluate the relevance to your community. The more engagement a boosted post gets, the less the booster pays. Depending on the evaluation process, a booster can get up to 85% of their money back, if the post is well targeted and engaging. In DEN, quality content is the primary objective.
All right, everyone, welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. This is our 169th episode. This is episode A8, 0xa8. Reminder, nothing on this show is financial advice, and to stay tuned after all of the updates for an AMA. This week on Number Go Up, as always, corruption is up across the board, pretty much anywhere you look. And to go to Dragonchain Updates, last week's lot distribution for the Super Happy Dragon Lucky show, this show right here, there were 478 lot NFTs created. There were 3 questions or topics that received 47 lot each. There was 1 featured post that also received 47 lot. The host, which I believe was Dave, received 47 lot, and Dragonchain receives 192 lot due to rounding. So thanks for Dave for taking over for me last week. I was not available. And let's see here, in case you missed it, another Dragonchain update. The Dragonchain Q3 report is out. Do check it out. Make sure you share it. And feel free, after you read it or while you're reading it, to post questions to this show at least. And or in DEN if you have immediate questions that you would want answered based upon that report. But make sure you share it. There's a lot of good info in there, and we're always trying to do everything we can to make connections that drive value being created. So next, we'll go to DENDAO.Social, and we have an LCP update. The October 2022 LCP lairs will be live this week. Apologies for the delay. We've had basically a lot of things going on. So, but the ones that will be created, number 1 by unique voter was upcoming crypto projects. Number 5 by lore committed was Bitcoin, the Bitcoin layer, and number 13 by lore committed was Minecraft. So you think about it, upcoming crypto projects, Bitcoin, and Minecraft. There should be 3 really good communities, if you ask me. There are 130 lairs to date, and over 185 million NFTs have been created by the DEN.Social platform as lot. So check it out. I don't know if that's the most, but I would think it's at least high ranking, and the highest number of NFTs created. Some unique stuff there too. Also on Den.Social, the Coffee with Den show, if you haven't seen it, is now a DAO. So be sure to participate for NFTs or for lot ownership in that DAO, where essentially you get to help direct the format of the show, who's on it, voting people off the island, anything else they decide to do or you decide to do. And make sure that you check out the Dragonchain quarterly report for a coupon code with 10% off all Coffee with Den merch. So you can see it there. Excellent stuff. DENDAO, next update. We have results for a governance issue. Is essentially proposing to do a manual testing of the eval system so that we can essentially more quickly and efficiently turn around what might be the right things, right switches and levers to pull on that, that there were a lot of options and it was kind of overwhelming. So this seemed to be a good way for us to implement a few of them, see real results, either pull that back or leave it, implement some others and see results, and then report back to everyone what it looks like, and to see if it actually solves the problem that people have been complaining about with the eval system attacks between groups and people. So anyway, let us know if you have any ideas there, or if you see any unexpected results in the coming weeks. That we will probably do that, and we'll at least try to report on it weekly if we have something to report, and but ask any questions on that as well. And then next is the live call, the weekly meeting, the DENDAO call. So look in the DENDAO layer. There's a post with an agenda and a link to join live. And in that post, you can leave suggestions for items to add to the agenda. You can leave questions, comments, proposals, ideas. You can come on the show to talk about it. You don't have to have your camera on if you don't want. It's just a call. So it's worth doing. And some of the discussions we've had verbally there really drive a lot of ideas between us to, improve the system. So anyway, join if you can, if you're able. And now we'll go to the World Blockchain Roundtable update. That episode 75 will be on October 27th, this Thursday. The topic is Web3 integration. I have a lot of opinions on that, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. Do please leave a question or subject to discuss. I think there are already some good ones in there. And make sure you get in there and do that. And if you don't have anything, at least evaluate them and let us know which ones you want to hear an answer on most. Also, watch and share last week's episode, which was personalized identity on blockchain, because the more views it gets in its first week, the more lot all the participants will get. And then there is a World Blockchain Roundtable DAO vote that is to vote for your favorite theme by this Wednesday for next month's episode. So essentially, it'll be the shows next week for the roundtable will be set. The weekly shows based upon the votes in this governance issue for the DAO. So get in there and make sure you weigh in, because there's some good ones in there. I've already voted. I usually hold off until late, but I already voted because there was one that was, pretty well. There are a lot of them that are really good ideas. I wanted to vote for Mega Texas, but I didn't. So if somebody can go in there and vote on that, I'd love to have a show on that. But I only have one vote. So anyway, that's it for the updates. So our AMA is right after this.
Now, more than ever, our data is at risk. Our supply chains are in jeopardy. Our systems are broken, and businesses feel powerless. Dragonchain gives you a different way, a safer way, a better way, and you have power over your data. Dragonchain gives you proof in an untrusted world. Build now at dragonchain.com, America's blockchain.
All right, here we go. So, refreshed. All right, so first question is from Jegs. Hi, Joe. This is a great question. Any chance that you can explain the large transfer for Dragons from Bittrex to Kucoin? Is this the same tokens that Coinme were holding there? I have no inside knowledge of any of this. I saw some people in the chats, I think it was last night, talking about this. And I don't know who all was in the conversation. I just saw it in the notifications on my phone. I did not get a chance to get in there and check out what the actual questions were or any of the theories. But I would say don't speculate too much, because I can tell you it's not Dragonchain, or the Dragon Company or the Dragonchain Foundation or me, or any of the entities that are Dragonchain moving them around. Okay, so yeah, is this possible? It's the Coinme one. Now, I have no way to know that, but from my memory, so I'm going to say this from my memory, that and it was kind of frustrating because when we purchased shares in Coinme, we asked them for a wallet and we sent the dragons to their wallet. Now, I might be wrong. I thought that wallet was on Kucoin, but maybe it was on Bittrex. I don't know. The other bit is that I know they did have a required period of time before they could, move them, sell them, whatever they would do. Again, not to get into any of that detail because of all of the eyeballs on it and the regulators and everything else. But our consideration is that once we use, give, sell, not sell, if we were to transfer tokens to have you, as a contractor do something, or if you were running a node, probably the best example, if you were running a node and you have the dragons in the system and you exit those dragons so that they are actually transferred to your wallet on Ethereum, the DRGN token with the Ethereum contract, that it is not only impossible for us to control what you do with them after that, it is not our business. Now, in certain cases, if there was a lot of them there, and in discussions when we were going to purchase that asset, which I do believe has appreciated. I do believe that the Coinme stock value is worth more now. I don't know what I'm even allowed to talk about there, and I couldn't quote you what the numbers were in value or anything else anyway, but that it did come up that, given that was such a large amount, we, didn't want them to just dump them or anything, for, obvious reasons, but that I do believe there's a lockup, but if I recall correctly, that lockup period is long past. So I have no idea what they've done with them since. I've not spoken with them, in fact, for months on any of it. And that's probably all I know. So it's entirely possible that it is theirs, but I guess I have no knowledge. So anyway, hopefully that's enough. I'm trying to think if there are any other angles around that I could help that you might have to in that question. But anyway, we'll see, I guess. Hopefully it's for a good reason. I have no idea. Okay. Next we go to Crypto Enthusiast. Okay, so how does Dragonchain sell a company on blockchain solutions, especially when they don't know that they need it? And this is a huge and interesting, and if you're talking about marketing, or if you're talking about sales, at least in my opinion, and probably a lot of other people's, this is the most important question on the block. That what differentiates Dragonchain, but even more so, what can be done with this technology? And I will tell you that our collective enemies, when I say collective, I say this industry, any legitimate project that's actually trying to build something real, our collective enemies have seeded and spread so much misinformation, disinformation, whichever is which, fake news and FUD, that it is exceedingly difficult to walk into a legitimate business prospect and quickly give them an idea of what they can do. And I will tell you the short of it. One of the good examples, I was on a call just last week, and one of the people, very important person on the call, specifically said, well, of these targets, and this is for a customer of ours, mind you, of these targets for their sales, what they want to build and the people that would be buying it, that they will tell me they can already do this. They already have a database. They already have a website. They already have e-commerce. They can already do this thing. So what is the reason for plugging it into this mechanism that decentralizes it and essentially accomplishes other measures? And it was really interesting because, it was very familiar that, back around 2011, 2012, maybe into 2013, in a prior life, in a prior business, I was working with someone who was essentially on a major stock exchange. That was his line of work. That's what he did. Exceedingly bright person, very energetic. Was very interested in new tech and ways to build new systems and make money essentially. And we got into a conversation, after we were done with the meetings of the day. We were out for dinner and got into a conversation about Bitcoin. And he was on a stock exchange. He knew what Bitcoin was, obviously, and he told me, "Oh, it's fake. It's BS. It's funny money. It's monopoly money. It's pointless. We already have money. We already have stocks. We already have systems to handle the ability to do these things, right?" And all of that is true. But what is missing from that viewpoint is number one, the ability for anyone to take part. So let's say that it is just something to replace the existing system, and you don't even think about other applications, whether it's money, whether it's a system of value transfer or of utility. That the interesting thing is, he wasn't considering that all of a sudden this being decentralized and maybe egalitarian or whatever you'd want to call it meant that anyone could take part, meaning that the market is ludicrous. The market is anyone. Whereas, if you talk about any one of the stock markets, there's gigantic thresholds. You have to have a bank, you have to have certain citizenry, you have to have all of these things in place for you to take part. And guess what? 90% of people, or depending on the world where you are, don't have that, right? That's a big thing. The other is the fact that, and this is, in my opinion, probably the most understood piece, that you look at what Bitcoin does and what it has done, but it essentially, it defines certain behaviors, right? So it says, if you run a node, you get rewarded this scarce thing, and there are only so many of them that will ever be made, and there are only so many of them that are made any given period of time right now, measurably so. It's not like gold, where you could have Spanish galleons come back and destroy the gold market, or you could have Elon Musk find a way to efficiently mine heavenly bodies, and you're going to crash the precious metals markets on Earth because all of a sudden there's abundance there. You don't have the scarcity, right? With Bitcoin, it's controlled. That's interesting. Bitcoin did not incentivize people to use it for its stated purpose of a digital cash, of a liberty-focused money, which is somewhat sad because people don't use it for that anymore, right? The store of value is the supposed, and it probably, frankly, is probably more a store of scarcity, or a store of measured energy, something like that. I've had friends that tried to point to it as proof of work being powerful because just like with gold, it takes a certain amount of energy to create it. It's kind of a very interesting way to look at it. But what Dragonchain is essentially looking at that, finding an architectural way with software to focus that value, which is to drive human behavior. Because I guess I didn't say the proof that Bitcoin has, proof in the pudding that this works, is that Bitcoin is the largest compute concern on Earth, because it does that one thing, and it does it independently, transparently, and in a sufficiently transparent way. It has accomplished this crazy goal way beyond anyone thought. And what Dragonchain is there for is to take that value, the ability to influence human behavior to absurd levels, and apply it to your business goals. That's the whole damn point of Dragonchain. That's the whole reason we exist, is to find the most scalable, flexible way to divert human behavior in a very open and transparent way. So anyway, that's what we sell. And we've been working on this for years to get to the point where we can explain it faster than I just explained it, because a lot of times we have we can talk in context with their actual goals, as an example. But we are refining that argument. And the great thing about it is we're the only ones with that specific goal. So if you look at anyone else that you could feasibly say, oh, they're going to steal that idea, and they're going to say, oh, we can affect human behavior on your system, fat chance all of those systems aren't scalable. Literally. As a software guy, I'll say that it's hard to do, and we took certain approaches, and we accepted certain for philosophical reasons, we accepted certain drawbacks and basically pros and cons in producing our approach that gives any business or project or person a lot of flexibility in deciding how they would implement that. And you can look at Den, you can look at a couple of other, even like say the World Blockchain Roundtable, how we reward participation, and those are all behavior systems. I thought for a while we should probably rebrand ourselves to Behavior Systems Inc. or something like that, but hasn't happened yet anyway. Okay, so that was a long answer. Sorry, that was a great question. Okay, so DanCan LT, DanCan Light, DanCan Lieutenant. I don't know. Next question. 1 second. I'm sorry. I think I'm not reading. Oh, I'm trying to. I have mine on the full screen, and I have a blocked post. so I'm gonna read it. I got it. Sorry. Thank you. Oxons. Okay, what are these layers for? I think it's TH0 Academy, TH0 B2B, TH0 Hackers, and TH0 Recruitment. Were these any promotional projects, any future partnerships? No, this is a past partnership. It's, at least as far as I know, inactive, through no, nothing wrong with what this group is doing. TH0 is a very successful, as I recall, hackathon group. And so they came in and wanted to partner with us to do various things. We suggested, okay, you could use these for discussions in your hackathons. Some of the stuff didn't happen. We didn't have the time to. I think that there were some probably misunderstandings on our sponsorship of hackathons and things like that. But it's not anything horrible. And they're a good group. But I would bet that those are fairly inactive. I'm not subscribed, so I don't know to those layers, but that's what they are. It was a hackathon, and they came in. And by the way, it was very early Den too, so we were still, and they were still, and the various people talking, still trying to figure out how to tie things together with the layers and communities. How do you drive active participation in one of these communities? And we've solved a lot of those problems now. So anyway, good question. Sorry I almost skipped you. And now we will go. So that was 3. So we're up to 3, and Now we will go to featured content. So first one was Kratos Boy, who's a great denizen, who wanted to basically promote a post by Full Value Dan on Twitter, I believe, where he posted, Dragonchain pros, 5 blockchain patents, meets U.S. blockchain compliance standards. We don't say that because you can't. There are no compliance. There's no standard, so you can't really say we meet it. But they partnered with SATA, Google Cloud partner, partnered with Security Solutions Tech, U.S. government tech provider, GSA stuff. Weekly updates from founder for 4 years, which is transparency. And he had cons too, so go read the tweet. But it was a good post. And I will tell you, Full Value Dan is one of those people out there that is interested in the technology. I think he has a good, very well-rounded opinion on multiple projects. He doesn't BS. He doesn't lie. He doesn't. I don't believe he shills stuff just because he bought it. He doesn't do pump and dump stuff. He's great. And we've been on his show a couple of times, and he's super friendly, but always super interested. And he's one of the good ones. So do go and support Full Value Dan. Subscribe to his channel. Follow him on Twitter. Do all those things because he's great. Next, also Kratos Boy. See, great guy. Open Source Money had an appearance in a post on the best Bitcoin movies of 2022. Probably because we released it again. So I hadn't even seen that, and that's awesome. And I'm glad he pointed it out. So thanks a bunch, Kratos Boy. And did you go watch Open Source Money? It was finally released on YouTube, and those guys have actually talked to me recently about the next series or the next round of that. So we'll see if something happens. I don't know. You'd think it'd be fitting. We'll see how things go, Ripple and everything else. And the next post was support for Ripple and Dragonchain community to file an amicus, I think that's the right pronunciation, brief for Dragonchain. Something that I am not an attorney and I don't actually understand entirely what that is. I do believe it's something to the effect of people who are not a party to the case. So the SEC, the evil, horrible, nasty demons of the SEC are suing the good people at Dragonchain, me personally included, for writing software and for selling software licenses. So they're suing us because they think we are something that we are not. And because, to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And to an SEC attorney, everything looks like a Goldman Sachs financial security. Unless it comes from Goldman Sachs, then it's pretty much hands off. You can't touch it. So one way or another, there is a potential, and I have no idea how these things develop. I have no idea what is required of them. But, I think the point is that if Dragonchain community participants, people who hold license, people who either build stuff on the platform, want to build stuff on the platform, or the very many of you, God bless you, who run network blockchain verification nodes. You guys are awesome, and you guys are you really do a lot, and we can't thank you enough. And all we can do is say, hey, let's try to build as many things as possible so that you guys end up really being happy with having done this all that time, right? And by the way, I mean, we're going to, if anything, I already have it in my mind, if anything, when we do these things, we're going to pay attention to who has been running them over time, not just who's doing it right now, but who has been running them, your network reputation, your time, all the rest of that. Super valuable. So to us, so really appreciate it. But one way or another, all of those people could at least theoretically file a brief which would let them participate somehow as either a point of discussion, as an argument, as an otherwise ignored. You think about it, the SEC has a duty and ethics and mission to protect investors, right? So they don't do it for Pokemon cards. You know, if you bought a baseball card and it was a Donruss instead of a Topps, and it isn't worth what it should be because they printed more of them than were known or something else, they're not going to come and protect you. And yet somehow finding us or suing us and costing on, if you think about it, 5 or so years of them coming after us and costing us millions in legal fees. Has that helped you guys? Probably not. I would say probably not, because it's definitely stalled the tech. It's stalled the available options for you and us to build stuff with the tech. So the very thing they're saying, oh, you guys, this is what it was, which it isn't. I don't know. It's a travesty. It's not justice, but justice doesn't exist. So you have to be, we have to be honest with each other. So one way or another, though, there's a potential that you guys could get together independently and come and say, what gives? Why are you guys doing this? We bought this as a license, and we would like someday to be able to profit by building something with it. And you guys are stalling further development. And frankly, I think the biggest effect they've had, and it's intentional, isn't even to stall us, to stall me. Because, that's one thing. They probably want me to blow my brains out. They want to crucify me. They'd be happy as hell. They run laughing back home and onto their job at the next law firm, because that's what they all want. They want a better job than their pittance that they make. And they think it's a pittance. They make too much for what work they do as bureaucrats, and they should be shamed publicly, by the way. But what they want is a job at the big law firms where they can be, we have a guy on the inside. He knows all the rest. This is what they tell you. He knows all the rest of the SEC investigators and all the people that are in power at the SEC. He can go in and he can represent you well, and he can get you better intel than you can get. And yeah, it's going to cost you millions. But and what do you think those guys get? They charge $1,200 an hour minimum, $1,200 a freaking hour. $1,200 an hour those guys charge, sometimes more. And what do they give you? Is like, I used to work at the SEC. I'm the guy. I made some case. I won some settlement, and I got a job with the big law firm, and now I have the nice car and the nice house. Right? That's what they want. Right? And us, me, they'll if they can crucify me, that's what they'll get. Okay, so that's me. But imagine this, and we know this has been the case. Countless times we have had what would in the traditional world, non-crypto world, non-blockchain world, have been biz dev successes, closed sales. I guarantee to you, you can believe me or not, but I guarantee to you that their intention is to make it extremely hard to get over that threshold. You can look at our first few months of progress, and you can see that we were profitable out the gate until all the SEC stuff started happening. And then all of a sudden, really amazing projects that would have made a lot of money for our customers, and therefore the people running blockchain verification nodes, as an example, run away. They were essentially scared away by legal entanglements, or their lawyers. Again, lawyers, those great people, lawyers, scared them away because some of it, obviously, sometimes it's not worth the risk of what might come from issues there. So, and that's also where all the FUD ties together, because if they look in the press, they see stuff about actual scams and nasty stuff that people have done in the crypto world, and it all gets lumped together, and the press doesn't write about the good stuff. So anyway, long answer. So thanks for that post, and you guys consider it. let us know if you need any help in any of that, if ever there's anything serious to consider. And it might be a little bit before it starts. I have no idea. So anyway, that's all of the AMA. Now we're going to go to merch. Go to dragonchain.store. All hoodies are on sale, 10% off until October 31. Use coupon code hoodies-2022. Again, dragonchain.store, hoodies 2022. And then also, because Den.Social celebrated its millionth Matter Mind, that there is 10% off until November 30 for anything that is Matter-based merchandise. There's a bunch of new stuff up there. I just ordered some. Unfortunately, I don't have it yet. I'll wear it when I get it. You can see it. Use coupon code million-matter. It is the Million Matter merch. Call it that, Million Matter merch. And again, dragonchain.store. It is all embroidered, by the way, or at least most of it. So really good quality stuff. I think a bunch of different colors too. I got the purple one, I think. And in closing, watch Super Happy Dragon Lucky next Tuesday. Follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Row on Twitter, LinkedIn, and on Den, of course. Make sure you like, comment, share this episode so you guys get more lot. And that is everything, I do believe. Thanks, guys.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. Adaptable approach is palpable if this animal is fallible. But that conclusion is laughable, so with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.